Yeah, it's Mark Barsati back with writer Paul Filippo, and it's going to be kind of weird for people because this will obviously be on a different video. We were talking about the writer Thomas Wolfe, and you were looking up Howard Waldrop's story where Wolfe didn't die young, and have you found the title?
Yes, indeed. You could go home again, not you can.
Could go home again. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Yeah. So for those of you who want to hear more of Wolfe, look up the preceding part of the interview series with Paul here. So Paul, I'm going to read you this is kind of just a random list of some of the character names you've come up with. Juniper Holtzclaw, Jabbo Copperknob, Yeldrum Gooley, Stark Chuff, Oswaldo Vasterling, Anders Ziegler, Elwood Crackle, Mario Spruzzo, Grobnobs, and Vidaris Salthouse. Now, beyond the obvious answer of I'm a writer dummy, I make shit up. Do you have any specific formula for making up character names or inventing character names?
Well, that talk about Dickens, as we were just a few minutes ago. Those names are totally Dickensian.
A few minutes, or the last part of
the last segment. Yes. so those names are totally Dickensian, and you can't use them in every kind of story. I do have characters that exhibit slightly more conventional, mundane names,
right.
Hopefully memorable in their own manner. But names are like a big thing with me. I mentioned keeping a pocket notebook, that's full of story ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But I think probably 50% of the jottings in those pocket notebooks is like names that I either see that are weird on their own, or else I kind of mutate them. Something. Let me see. I'm at my desk, and I've got my notebooks are right next to me. In fact, so what I do is, like my current project, I grabbed a random handful of notebooks to see if there were any names or ideas that I could use and fit in. This notebook is from 2005, and here's a jotting I made, McKinley. So you say, well, what's so weird about McKinley? I said use that as a male first name. So you'd have a guy named like McKinley Smith, which is kind of memorable. And
right.
Let me see. Let's see what else I've got here for a name. Okay, now here's an instance of one straight from the newspaper. The last name of Sister, and I have a notation here that I encountered that last name in the Boston Globe. So right away you've got like Fred's sister, but now if you started the story without revealing the whole name, and it'd be like, sister entered the building, and sister did that, sister did this, you'd be like, playing with the reader's expectations. Right. And then all of a sudden, he says, hi, I'm here to see the president, my name's Fred's sister, whatever. So you can have a lot of fun with names, and I do. Let's see if I've got, this is all the same notebook from 2005. But I'll see a name, and I'll like mutate it or twist it.
Well, while you're looking those up, let me chime in with a few more things. Back, I kind of like those two, going back to my days of selling books over the phone for Time Life. I would always, if the lead was dead, I would always take out of the trash, let's say, lead cards with weird names, and I still have them somewhere in a folder file. But of course, being an eternal adolescent, I don't remember the first name, but the last name was spelled F-E-C-K. Maybe pronounced differently. But it's like, okay, if I had that name, the day I turned 18, I was courthouse, changing the letters.
And then, of course, you have, now you're not going to believe this. I should type this into Google to see. In 2005, on October 13th, I was reading the New York Times, as I do every day, and I came across the name Zefelda Veal. So it's like Esfelder with a Z in front, and the person's last name was Veal, like the meat. Let me see if.
Right.
Let me see.
How do you spell the first name?
Zethelda. I'm typing it in, even as we speak here. And Zethelda Field seems to have an active Pinterest and and YouTube page. So, like, what you can't, life provides you with stuff that is better, 10 times better than what your brain could come up with. What if you encounter Zethelda Veal in real life, And there's also a Zethelda Veal. She's going to sue us now. Zethelda Veal, age 60, in Alexandria, Louisiana. So, but you have to keep your radar up and your antenna alert. I recently had a doctor's appointment, and I was getting a little ultrasound test, and the technician came in, and I said, "What's your name?" And she said, "Clotilda." And I said, "My God, I've never met anyone named Clotilda. I knew the name existed." I said, "You must have, like total French heritage." And she said, "No, my mother just liked Clotilda." So now you've almost got like a mini story there. Like, what was this mother like that she liked this rather exotic name and conferred it to her daughter? And did the daughter have trouble in grade school, because of bearing this strange name? So these stories, not necessarily name-centric stories, but
right,
stories are all around us. And if you just keep your radar up, you can be amazed by the inspirations that you encounter in daily life.
Well, I enjoy too. We notice this as probably in the culture at large. The professional athletes is where we're most exposed to it. But the African American names that are just completely made up, and of course my response to that as well. Every name is made up.
Yes.
If you want to be whatever, I won't give an example, but anyway, and yes, you do have, in addition to many normalish names, you do have the occasional tongue-twisting character name. But I appreciate in general that readers, in most cases, can actually figure out easily how to say your character's name. I saw a funny cartoon recently about fantasy authors. Type that need to include a pronunciation guide at the beginning of their book characters. Right. And the joke was that most readers, pronunciation guide or no, most readers end up, as they're reading the book in their minds, like the adults, the Sound of Adults in the Peanuts cartoons, mentally thinking as they read President's what or Princess what.
This is totally true. Totally true. Yeah, what the heck? I had a single word that I would substitute for unpronounceable names, and I'm forgetting what it was now. I guess I haven't read many fantasy novels where I needed this trick, but I would like, every time I came across one of those names, it wasn't like blah blah whatever, but it was something similar. I do that trick. Yeah, Princess blah blah, Lord blah blah.
And I enjoy a lot of fantasy too, but that's definitely a trope that I think needs to go the way of the dodo. Let the reader figure it out. Similarly, I'm going to read a few random lines of yours that likewise tickled me. And this has to do also, with this with writing in general, but I'm just going to jump. Let me get my notes here correctly so I can know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So, and I don't know if this first one may or may not have been original with you, but I love it. You can lead a horticulture, but you can't make her think.
Yeah, I encountered that somewhere, and I figured it was too good not to use.
Good enough to steal.
Yeah.
But I think these following ones are probably all yours. A young intern who looked as if he could shave the down from his chin with a lettuce leaf. Looks like every other moldy, a bulbous-limbed, vaguely anthropomorphic protein shape that quivered with internal hides. His voice sounded like a kazoo being played through a wet sock full of mud. Invader species were practically climbing out of the Great Lakes to register to vote, and honeybees were dying faster than amateur comedians had open mic night. Prospered, it's good if you're chuckling at your own.
Yeah, my own. What a
Hey,
deal.
they're good. They're good. Right? Prospered like a limber-fingered man in a crowd of quadruple amputees with itchy arses. And then there's a couple booze-based lines. The harsh golden liquid throbbed down my throat like a death metal mariachi band. And then Rude Bravo, which is a beer brand, Rude Bravo flowed like liquid suicide. And then a quick aside there, do you occasionally enjoy a drink yourself or no?
You know, I used to be a pretty, I was never a Lucius Shepard capacity drinker. He was famously, I'll tell you a Lucius Shepard story in a minute, but my drinking has curtailed over the years. I think it's an age-based thing. Like Deborah and I used to kill a whole bottle of wine at supper, and now, it's like, why am I awake at 3 a.m.? Oh yeah, it's because I drank so much, at supper time. So, a nice little few ounces of wine to go with the pasta. That's good. And we, occasionally if it's a party or something, a couple of gin and tonics. And but it's gotta be a big occasion now. So this is a story that folks might enjoy. So my favorite convention used to be ReaderCon, and for various reasons I don't go to ReaderCon anymore. It's based in Massachusetts. It's still happening, but I don't attend. But in any case, at one ReaderCon, Lucius Shepard was there. Big, hairy guy, like 6+ and 6 foot plus, and just with a famous capacity for drinking. And then my friend Liz Hand was there, and she's, on the shortish side for a woman, and probably weighs like 100 pounds or whatever. And so Lucius and Liz were in the bar, and I was there with them, and they got into it wasn't really a contest, but they started drinking Irish car bombs, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Yeah. So they started drinking Irish car bombs, and Liz had like...
Go ahead.
Yeah, and Liz had like...
Hey folks, came to an abrupt end on this chapter. Sorry about that. So that was more of one of my favorite writers, Paul de Filippo. He's got a lot of books on Amazon. You might want to check one out. Make a writer a buck or two in this day and age. And if you enjoyed this conversation and the other ones, please like and subscribe, blah, blah, blah. We'll be back with more Paul and other goodies as time allows. This has been a not ready for podcasting production. Have fun.